The new Moto G52 is here, and this is actually quite an interesting budget smartphone because two reasons. Number one, this is actually priced a little lower than the Moto G51 at rupees 14,499, and reason number two, this is better than the Moto G51 in almost all the aspects. Almost, because there's one area where I'm a little doubtful. Let's get straight to the point. A lot has changed in the G52 compared to the G51, and the first point is obviously the design. The G52 design is better in a lot of aspects. First, I think it looks better. Here's the G52 next to the G51, and I think you'll agree when I say that the G52 looks more premium. The back is still plastic, but Motorola has used a PMMA finish. Now, what's PMMA? Well, I did a Google search and got this. PMMA, also known as acrylic or acrylic glass, is a transparent and rigid thermoplastic material widely used as a shatterproof replacement for glass. Now, this does look a lot like glass, and I also like that the frame also looks nicer. See, I personally like the looks of this phone, but what I like more is that Motorola has made the phone smaller when compared to the G51. This is basically the slimmest and the lightest phone in this segment. I mean, look at this comparison. It's 7.9mm thin and it only weighs 169 grams, which is almost 40 grams lighter than the G51. Now, this is interesting because the phone has the same 5000 mAh battery. The point is the Moto G52 just feels better in the hands. If you like lightweight and compact phones, you will like this. And yeah, you should also hit like on the video. Shameless plug. Hit like. The design is also more functional. The fingerprint scanner is in the power button. It's still IP52 rated. It still has the headphone jack, the same micro SD plus dual SIM hybrid slot. But what's new is the stereo speakers. This is something the G51 and even the G71 did not have. So thumbs up to Motorola for this. There's a speaker on the top and a speaker on the bottom, and the sound quality is loud and fairly good. I also like that the speakers here use the Qualcomm sound tech and there's Dolby Atmos support, so you can tune the sound the way you want. The display is another area where the G52 is just a lot better. It's a POLED display which has its advantages. I mean, POLEDs are thinner and lighter than GOLEDs or AMOLED panels, and that's the reason G52 is sleek and nice. POLEDs are also better at managing heat, and POLEDs also enable manufacturers to keep the bezels low on the devices, and this is something I noticed with the G51. None of us like big chins on these new budget smartphones, and I like that the G52 has a very narrow chin with unified bezels all around. It looks great. Here's the chin on the G52 and the G51. See the difference? It's better than the competition too. Here's the chins of G52, Redmi Note 11 and Realme 9, and yeah, the G52 clearly has the smallest chin. Now, I know earlier POLED displays were not known for great display quality, but the technology has evolved. In fact, the H20 series and the H30 Pro have a good POLED panel, and this POLED panel on the G52 is also great. It has the same OLED qualities, punchy colors, deep blacks, and overall it just looks fantastic. I'll honestly take this POLED display any day over the 120Hz IPS LCD on the G51. The brightness is good too. It's not the brightest display at 700 nits max, but I did not have any issues with brightness in outdoor situations or well-lit situations. It's also a 90Hz display, so Android 12 animations just look smooth and nice. The phone also has the wide N1 license, so Netflix shows and movies play on Full HD without any issues on the phone. As for screen protection, the phone has Panda Glass on top of the POLED panel, and this screen protection is equivalent to the protection Gorilla Glass 3 brings. One change in the G52 that is a little debatable is the processor. The G52 has the Snapdragon 680 chipset, and I like that there are higher RAM and storage variants this time. The Snapdragon 680 when compared to the Snapdragon 480 Plus on the G51 has its advantages. It's a 6nm chipset, so it's definitely more power efficient. It has the higher clock speeds, but the Snapdragon 480 Plus is a 5G chipset and is slightly more powerful. Just check out the benchmark scores and you can see that the 480 Plus actually scores higher. It's not a big difference, and I think Motorola went with the 680 for better battery efficiency, and also the fact that competition phones like the Note 11 and Realme 9 have the same chipset. Also, just to be clear, the Snapdragon 680 is a 4G chipset, so this is obviously a 4G phone. As for day-to-day performance, this seems like a fairly smooth phone so far, but we only received the G52 yesterday, so it's too early to judge. When it comes to BGMI, it only supports these graphics settings, no HD, but I did play the game at smooth and the game was playable. Talking about the other changes, the G52 comes with the same Android 12 experience we saw in the H30 Pro, so it's very pixel-like with the same material UI, the widgets, and it's just a lot of fun to use. This is a great experience. Plus, there are all the useful Moto gestures and features. As for updates, Motorola has promised the Android 13 update and 3 years of security patches. And when it comes to pre-installed apps, there's Facebook, but I noticed a couple of more apps pre-installed. Josh and Daily Hunt. You can install this, it's not a big deal, but this is the first time I've noticed a Motorola phone come with these, and I'm hoping this is not something you continue with because you associate clean experience with a Moto phone. The rear cameras haven't changed from the G51, it's the same triple camera setup, and one thing Motorola recently confirmed to me is that they're working on improving the camera UI on Motorola phones. This is something I've always complained about, so I'm glad Motorola is listening. As for the camera quality, here are some photos from the phone, and in daylight things look good. In low light there is a bit of struggle, but I'll have to test things out extensively to get a more clearer idea. The selfie camera has changed though, it's a 16 megapixel sensor compared to 13 megapixel on the G51. Now the selfies from the phone look good so far, and on the video front there's only 1080p support in both the front and the rear cameras. When it comes to the battery, like I said, it's the same 5000 mAh battery, but the charger is faster this time. There's this 33 watt turbocharger in the box which I haven't tested, but it should be faster than the 20 watt charger in the G51. Lastly, on the connectivity front, this phone has all the important sensors. There is carrier aggregation support, 2x2 MIMO support, and there's NFC. To conclude things, the Moto G52 has launched in India at Rs 14,499, and that becomes 13,499 if you include the HDFC Bank 1000 rupee discount offer. And the 6 128GB variant of this phone has been launched at Rs 16,499. Now, in this price range, I think the Moto G52 brings some good features. See, the design is very appealing both in terms of looks and the in-hand feel, and I think it looks a lot better than most phones in this price range. Plus the 90Hz POLED display with its symmetrical bezels and stereo speakers are just great addition for this price. Then there's the faster charger and the stock Android 12 experience out of the box, which is just a big USP. The chipset isn't an upgrade, this is not a 5G phone, and I'm yet to test out the cameras, but yeah, this looks like a solid phone for this price. What do you think of this phone when compared to the competition from Redmi and Realme and Oppo? Comment down below. Also give this video a like, make sure to share it and subscribe to the channel for more amazing tech videos. That's me signing off. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Each one of these have a spy cam in them. Yeah, all of these. I will show you the smallest and the most dangerous one.